I feel like working as an English teacher, there were a lot of people coming in from abroad who had never been to Japan at all, who didn't speak the language, who hadn't studied. But even people who do study the language and the culture, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are going to mesh with Japan. I mean, you came over knowing
nothing. No, but I came to Japan. I knew nothing about it.
But there, I think it's more of a personality thing than an education.
It was a perfect fit. It's like
some people it just works.
This is how it's meant to be.
Yeah. Some people it just works, and other people it doesn't.
Japan's like Edwardian England.
Kind of.
I think it is. I think it's people like cleaning their stoops and stuff like that, and people looking out for each other, and
it is.
All the good bits of Edwardian.
It's all the good bits of it's how you're brought up to be in Britain, or what you're taught about in Britain. But you go outside in Britain, and like it's not like that. No. And it's kind of a shock, especially if you go to London or something. Yeah, it's quite a bit of a shock to the system.
I think that's
what it's not actually like that. It's not actually like an old movie.
As a little pro tip, if you're thinking of coming over to Japan to teach English or find a job in the games industry or whatever, I will say that you will have to make some compromises on how your way of life used to be. As opposed to and your outlook, sometimes your values. You know, you might have to
talk about poo a lot more.
No, that's okay. You can skip that. You can skip that and be just fine.
No, you do have to talk about poo a lot more. Ignore what she's saying. You do have to talk about. If you can't get over that, you're not going to be able to settle
Ariel
down.
has lived in Japan for a total of like 3 weeks, so I would not believe anything she says.
You do have to make compromises on some things, and I think it's a personal decision that you have to make what you won't compromise on, because I do think that there are some things that shouldn't be compromised on according to the individual. But all I can say is from experience, seeing a lot of people coming over to Japan, just the way that they interacted with it and how their enjoyment was here, or if they just completely, it was like water and oil and conflict resulted. It has a lot to do with your compromise, like what are you willing to say, okay, like I'm going to try to adopt culture and value. And I
think it's not just Japan though. I think you go to any other culture apart from the one you're brought up in, you have to switch on the absorb mode. You can't just go, I'm going to go there, I'm going to be British.
Right.
And everything has to be like Britain. It can't be anything other way. You can't do it like that. You have to switch on absorb mode. When you hear things that don't quite jibe with what you've learned, as as you've been brought up,
and there will be things.
There's loads of things, and you have to switch in the fact where you have to switch on the sort of mode which says, okay, well, wait a minute, they're coming from a different background. Why is it like that?
But you have to play devil's advocate with yourself on all these issues, And part of the problem that I experienced working with a lot of foreigners who kind of just a mix of people who got along well with Japan or who didn't, and people who kind of decided to branch out and find Japanese friends, and other people who decided to just huddle within their foreigner community.
Gaijin ghetto.
Yeah. and kind of interacting with all these various people. I had a problem with like who I was around these people. I didn't like who I was because I was always the devil's advocate role of like, if they were having a conversation about suicide in Japan, and I would be up on the statistics and say, no, statistically, first of all, the statistics are a bit blown out of proportion. If you actually look at the real statistics, there are other countries that have more of a problem with suicide than Japan.
Northern Europe.
Like Foxconn.
And it's also more... It's also more sensational in how it's portrayed. If, they think that... it's the students who are committing suicide, but really, those are the really tragic stories, but the people who are committing suicide are really the middle-aged men who've lost their jobs and also the elderly. And it's, these kind of conversations where it was like I was constantly putting myself in a position where I was in combat with them because I would always be like fighting for Japan.
Right. Well, you can't help it. If you have like 5 or 6 people and they're so like they're in that mode where they're kind of just complaining about stuff. Yeah. Then someone has to, you sort of disproportionately
overcompensate for it by trying to be like pro.
Because otherwise you can't fight against it. You've got 4 or 5 people doing that.
But it's just that when foreigners like that come together, it becomes a constant like session about Japan. It's like, this sucks.
With a particular type of foreigner.
This is true.
Luckily, I do not roll with that crew. Every time we get together, we're like, yo, Kyoto, Great. Oh yeah, dude, yeah, I love it here. It just never ends. We just start like...
Yeah, haven't seen it so much here at Q, which is fantastic because I didn't like who I was around those people.
There were a few people like that here, but yeah, they
lasted about a week or two.
They had to go.
Yeah, they moved on, and no, I think most of the people left here, they think it's the best thing in the world. I think it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's
in fact, even one or two that did leave are trying to come back now.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But if you come to Japan with this attitude of like, okay, check it out. The Japanese people are the way they are because they don't know a better way. I'm going to come to Japan and show them the American way of doing it, and then they'll realize. Then they'll finally understand, and they'll change.
Even though you're being so dramatic about it, a lot of people think that way. That their way of doing things, doing things is the correct way, and to try to impose your own culture on another culture like that, it just does not work.
That's right.
Like and like on a personal level, they'll try to say, well, your way of doing things is wrong. Let's do it this way instead. And there are huge conflicts that result because of that.
Completely.
Cultural imperialism, I believe they call it.
It is cultural
imperialism.
America and I mean, I was always brought up in England to always think that Britain is like the best place in the world.
Yeah, it's every country.
Yeah, every country, right? So you're always brought up to be like that. So when you go to another culture, you just have to try and lose all that.
I grew up in Somalia, where I'm pretty sure they tell you it's shit here. You need to go somewhere else.
There probably are a few countries that are like that.
Yeah.
But it is one of those things you do have to lose that sort of childish, sort of misplacing pride.
Yeah. And learn, the bad things and the good things about your own native country in the process. Because I think that you see things in a different light and you recognize some good things that maybe you didn't see before, and along with the bad.
Yeah, I had no idea just how much I did not want to live in America until I moved to Japan. That was turning point.
Well, now Jamin's overly negative about America. He doesn't have a good thing to say about America. I think there are plenty of good things.
No, I like a good American breakfast.
No.
At least once a year.
We go to GDC and we order like breakfast, and it's like 5 sausages and 6 eggs and 13 bagels, and it's just like you eat half of it and you think it's like enough food for the whole time, and they keep bringing stuff to you. It never ends. God, no wonder you're all a bunch of fat bastards.
Hey, don't say
and they bring it with the tea bag stuck in it.
Anyway, you want to be careful with your anti-American broadcasting, because some seals are going to drop through the roof. One in the chest, one in the face.
Yeah, he'll be dropped off in the sea.
That's
drop off in the sea.
There you go, within 24 hours.
And I'll get my 72 Virginians.
So are we near the end then? We're probably near the end, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Let's do the laundry now. Okay, so we do have the t-shirt giveaway results that we did last time, and I'd like to personally congratulate Pasby.
You're making this up.
No, that's his name.
Can we have
Pasby Zavatsky, which is an awesome name.
Can we have a John Smith winning?
Pasby Zavatsky.
That's actually funnier than Fredo's name.
Fredo's.
Your name is a massive score in Scrabble. Look at that.
That would be a massive.
You can't use
Z.
No, but the Z is 10 points. I know this because I played with Dylan. Words with friends.
Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah.
That's kind of awesome. Well, congratulations, Pasby.
We played 2 games simultaneously.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do you do this during work hours?
No.
We do it when we're breathing out.
Yeah.
Oh.
By the way, you don't want to use my iPad.
Do you see that Seinfeld with George in the book?
Yep, I saw.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
They're trying to make him buy it.
I won't be buying your first generation.
You will not be buying my.
No.
Oh god.
Anyway.
We're sending it to my mom.
Oh dear. Oh, she's getting it?
Yeah, she's getting it.
I wanted it.
It's her Mother's Day present.
She'd be so happy. She'd be like, this thing's great, but it smells funny.
Yeah.
Oh, the first iPad was
More smudges in it.
Okay. Oh dear. Okay, so let's head into the game code giveaway. Yep. Okay, so first I'm going to explain the rules for the Shooter 2 game code giveaway. This is a contest we'll be doing for a week. So starting a week after this episode airs, we will be holding this contest, and it requires 4 steps to enter. 1, you have to follow at PixelJunk News. Now, I think people who are listening to this are pretty. I think they're following.
I think they're following.
Yeah. Tell your friends.
So that's already one down.
Yeah.
It's already one down.
Get a friend to follow PixelJunk News.
There you go.
So we can't actually verify that.
No.
At all.
Yeah.
So that's impossible.
honor system.
Yeah.
We'll
on you.
believe that you got a friend to follow us.
Yeah.
So 2, the second step, is to retweet the contest announcement that at PixelJunk News will make, and it'll read something like, win a PixelJunk Shooter 2 code, subscribe to at PixelJunk Radio, and listen to episode 10 to find out how. And then you have to send an email. This is the third step. You have to send an email to podcast@q-games.com with the following subject, PixelJunk Shooter 2 code giveaway. So, self-explanatory subject.
All right.
PixelJunk Shooter 2 code giveaway. And then 4, in the body of the email, all you need is one word. Cheese. That's all you need.
Buy some cheese.
Not stringy cheese.
Not stringy cheese.
And definitely not
Just
suck on a
cheese.
sausage.
Suck on a sausage.
Actually, you get people to write their
Cheese.
favourite cheese, then we could announce that.
Okay, yeah, you could do that. If you could experiment with that, but it has to have the word cheese in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm afraid what I'm gonna find.
Or actually, if you just send us some cheese, I'm sure we would.
That's
Oh,
good.
God.
Weigh favorably.
If there are any
that.
rich people out there, because cheese is quite expensive here.
Yeah,
it is.
Send us over really good cheese.
The
We'll eat it.
high
We'll eat it on the
stuff.
podcast.
Yeah,
There you go.
send it to.
that'd
you
be
can
good.
find our
Yeah.
address on
That's
q-games.com.
it.
Yeah.
Gruyere.
And please send it the fastest possible shipping method.
Yeah, weekly.
Cheese the Week Club.
We like cheese. We like cheese.
We do love cheese.
Cheese is the business.
We do. So
Goes well
let me
with all the
repeat
alcohol we
the
drink.
let me repeat the 4 steps. 1, follow at PixelJunk News. 2, retweet the contest announcement. 3, email podcast@q-games.com with the following subject, PixelJunk Shooter 2 code giveaway. And 4, in the body of the email, put the word cheese somewhere in there. So that's 4 simple steps. And yeah, I think we have yet to determine the amount of codes we want to give away, but I think we have a few codes, regardless of what region you're in. We have US codes and European codes and Japanese codes. So after you win, we can find out that information and send you a code. But you can be playing PixelJunk Shooter 2. Or
Otherwise, they're probably all playing it already, right?
or gift it.
Yeah, or gift it. Yeah,
I think it would make a
can
great
gift that, right?
gift.
Yeah, exactly.
Spread the PixelJunk love.
Yes, even if you have it right now, still enter the competition, and you can, if you win, you can gift it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
This next line. What's
Girls
happened, what's
will go
happened
out
to your
with you.
English?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are going to give away 2 US codes for Acceleration of Suguri X Edition, which is a game. It's a PSN game. It's sort of a rapid-fire side-scrolling shooter.
Acceleration of Suguri.
Acceleration of Suguri X
Localized.
Edition.
It sounds like some special hardware.
Yeah.
It's
Sounds
Oh,
like
it's a bullet hell
translated.
game, is it?
Oh, that would make a good bullet hell game
bullet
name.
hell, but it's definitely pretty fast-paced.
Okay, it
Side-scroller.
sounds like a bullet hell game.
Yeah, and what it is, it's a collaboration between Sony Online Entertainment and the indie publisher Rocket Android.
Okay.
Yes. I went on their podcast recently as a guest, and Adam, who was the host, gave me these 2 codes, these 2 US codes to give away. Just a little disclaimer about Rocket Android. They're a Japanese, they bring Japanese indie-style games to America. Remember, they're big fans of a lot of Japanese games that really don't get...
The dojin games, right?
You say the dodgy games?
Dodgy or dodging?
Oh, Dojin.
Dojin.
Oh,
Oh, Dojin.
I heard the dodgy games.
Dojin.
Yes, the dodging games. Yeah, I thought you said dodging.
I heard dodgy.
like
dodging
like
games.
ball dodging.
Yeah, no.
Because it makes sense. The
Dojin.
dodgy games like the
dojin
Dojin
games,
games.
yeah.
Yeah.
The dodging games. So they're doing good work because it's like I remember growing up importing games myself from Japan and not understanding a word of Japanese. I couldn't read any of it.
These are pretty hardcore.
Yeah,
I've seen a few of them.
And so it's really awesome that Adam gave me these 2 codes to give away. So, Jamin, actually, do you want to do the honors?
I will do this.
So yeah, you have to
Jamin's our
separate
code
the codes.
generator.
No, first come, first serve. So as soon as you hear this, if you can,
if PSN is down, so
Yeah.
just keep hold of the code.
yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
if you can log on to PS, and
be
by
the
the time
first
you
one
hear
back
this,
up on
yeah.